The new album from 21 Pilots, Clancy, is a sonic feast that features trippy vocals, soaring choruses, insane production, and shows that 21 Pilots are among the best that are doing it today. Let's break it all down on this edition of Rock Album Review. Hey everybody, it's Nick here with you. Welcome back to the channel. Clancy is the 7th studio album from Tyler Joseph and Josh Dunn, aka 21 Pilots. It's the follow-up to 2021's Scaled and Icy. And I don't claim to be a 21 Pilots expert or anything, but I really like the band, and I first got into them when the Trench record came out in 2018. And I love the band's diversity as songwriters. Tyler Joseph is a very talented songwriter and producer, and Josh Dunn is a very versatile and powerful drummer, and they work really well together. Trench is a moodier, darker record, while Scaled and Icy was a poppier, sunnier record, and I love both sounds of the band. I love the moody tracks like Jumpsuit and Levitate, and then the song they did for Suicide Squad, Heathens, that's a great song. And then you had poppier songs like Good Day and Shy Away and Saturday. Those all rhyme, but those are all great songs. And I would say my favorite 21 Pilots song by far is The Hype. It mixes together those hip-hop elements with the catchier elements, and I think that is by far my favorite 21 Pilots song. And now the band returns, continuing the story from Trench with the character Clancy, and the first thing I noticed about this album, Clancy, is that it's definitely not as poppy or sunny as Scaled and Icy. Yeah, for the most part, 21 Pilots have returned to the sound of Trench, where they first introduced this character Clancy, and it's back to that darker, moodier sound of 21 Pilots, with still some of those upbeat and sunnier elements thrown in. The band even goes back to more full-on rock on some of the songs on this record, and that was a nice change to some of their earlier stuff. And even though I didn't love every song on this album and felt like it dipped a little bit towards the end, it's overall a super solid listen from front to back. And the band has released a music video for every single song on Clancy, which is no easy feat because filming music videos is a major pain in the ass, but it's really, really cool for them to do that, and really a cool way to market their record. All right, so let's get to the tracks on Clancy. I love the opening track, Overcompensate. It has this epic synth intro that just breaks into this electronica beat. It sounded like Crystal Method or Chemical Brothers, some definite 90s electronica vibes going on here. And it was a great opener. They're saying, welcome back to the Trench, and we're back into the story of Clancy. I have to say, though, I know nothing about this story that weaves through the 21 Pilots records. Similar to Coheed and Cambria, who also have this epic story that weaves its way through their lyrics and their albums. I'm just here for the music, guys. The chorus on this one is actually kind of reggae, but I really love this track. It's a great opener. It's a great 21 Pilots track that lets us know that those sunny vibes from Scaled and Icy are kind of on hiatus. They're kind of on the back burner right now as we dig deeper into darker territory. I really love the song Backslide. The records from 21 Pilots are always so well produced. They're not just a rock band. They're a lot more than that. This was more like something that you would find on Trench. You have Tyler Joseph mixing rapping and melody. He's a great vocalist. He can do so much. Very versatile, a very powerful singer. I like the lyrics on this song. I don't want to backslide to where I started from. I think that's something that a lot of us can relate to. And then there's another song later on in this record that's called Snapback, which kind of sounds like a sequel to this song, and I like the way that the songs interplay with each other. One of the things I love about 21 Pilots is that they're excellent at creating mood. Really cool, moody vibes on each of their songs, and there are a couple of songs, more than a couple of songs on Clancy that highlight that. Midwest Indigo is one of those songs. I love the bass and the propulsive drums on this track. I love the chorus. Really, really fun tune. And the band always mixes together the more hip-hop elements of what they do into the verses of the songs, and then they break into these melodic choruses that are always super catchy, and Midwest Indigo is an example of that. Vignette was a really cool song, had some orchestral stabs in there. The beats and the synths reminded me of really old school hip-hop, but then you have Tyler Joseph just spitting out those lyrics, and then you have a killer synth solo in there as well, and you can never go wrong with synths. Routines in the Night reminded me of a darker version of Saturday, had some trippy drums and production. Not one of the better songs on the record, but it helped to maintain the mood and the flow. One of my favorite songs on Clancy is called Lavish. It sounds like the band is talking about living the life. The backing track sounds luxurious. The strings on it make it sound super classy, and this was actually one of the videos that I had had to check out when listening to this song. I was listening to Lavish, and I'm like, okay, this song's different for 21 Pilots. It's talking about them living the life, living this lavish life of luxury. So what is the video like? I go check it out, and it's them just kind of mocking or mugging for the camera outside of Subways and all these different stores and restaurants in the suburbs. I thought that was really great and helps to offset the lavish style of the song. And in the midst of all this trippy production and electronic elements, there are some really great rocking elements and tender moments as well. One of those songs that is more sensitive and soft is The Craving, Jenna's version. And I'm no 21 Pilots fan, but this sounds kind of new for me for what they do with the acoustic guitar and the soft vocals. It's really another side of 21 Pilots, who is a band that already shows so many different sides to what they do. I thought this was a really, really nice song. I can see it really being a hit at their shows when they go play live. There's two different versions. There's Jenna's version, which is Tyler Joseph's wife, I believe. There's Jenna's version on this album version, and then there's the single version. From what I can tell, the single version has more production on it, while the album version is more stripped back and is more acoustic. Maybe you guys in the comments can let me know what the major differences are between these two songs. Maybe I'm missing something, but I thought that The Craving, Jenna's version, was one of the highlights of the record, a real centerpiece. On Next Semester, 21 Pilots goes full on rock and full on punk on this track. It reminded me of something like Weezer mixed with surf rock, and it's nice to hear 21 Pilots do something more traditional in the mix of all this production craziness. I always wondered what they would sound like as a two-piece band without all the different bells and whistles. You have that great line from Tyler Joseph, "Hey kid, get out of the road." It reminded me of Being Young, and then I really like the last line of this song. It kind of goes from being this big rock song to coming down to something really soft and acoustic at the end, and then Tyler Joseph says, "Start fresh next semester." It reminded me of Being Young, reminded me of being in college. It definitely a highlight on the record for me. Navigating was another song on this record that had more of a rocky vibe, and I wish they had explored that on a couple more songs on this record. I do have to admit, though, with Clancy, that the album started to lose me a little bit towards the end. I don't know if it's because the album was more front-loaded with a lot of the stronger tracks, or if I can only listen to so much 21 Pilots, but after Lavish, after that track, the album started to dip a little bit for me, and songs like Oldie Station, At the Risk of Feeling Dumb, and Paladin Straight didn't really jump out to me, but that tends to happen when I listen to these albums for reviewing on first listen. I'm sure I'll get into these songs a little bit more after I listen to them a little bit more as well. Overall, I think that Clancy is a really strong record from 21 Pilots. I don't know how I would stack it against Trench and Scaled and Icy. I have to listen to it a couple more times to do that, but overall, I think this is a really, really strong album, and there are songs on here that can be put among the best of 21 Pilots' best tracks, and that's a good sign. Favorite tracks for me on this record: Overcompensate, Next Semester, Backslide, The Craving, Lavish. There are a lot of songs on here that I put into my 2024 Spotify playlist, which for me is the hallmark of a great record. I do miss some of the poppier and sunnier and catchier elements of Scaled and Icy. That's a record that I really loved when it came out, summertime, so I'm probably more inclined to play that in the car if I'm going to be listening to 21 Pilots, but then I love the sound of Trench as well, so I have no qualms about 21 Pilots returning to that sound. Tyler Joseph and Josh Dunn continue to prove that they are among the best making music in multiple genres right now. You got rock, you got hip hop, pop, electronic. It's no small feat to make a record like this, so props to them on a job well done. I have a feeling that 21 Pilots fans everywhere are going to be really satisfied with the record. There's a lot to dig into here, a lot to enjoy, so I'm going to give Clancy, the new album from 21 Pilots, a solid 4 out of 5. Clancy. And that is it, guys. That is my rock album review for the new album from 21 Pilots called Clancy. Let me know what you thought of the record in the comments below. Make sure to toss me a like if you enjoyed this review. If you like what I'm doing here on the channel, you want to rock out with me a little more, make sure to smash that subscribe button, and then you can check me out on all social platforms: X, Instagram, TikTok, everywhere at Nick Chino Music. But I'll see you guys again for another video here on the channel. Until then, rock on, everybody.